Hello, welcome to the replay. It's Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day if you are watching me and you are a service member, former service member. Shout out to the families of service members. I'm a military spouse too, so mil spouses are always going to get love from me. Welcome to the replay. My name is Monique James. I am a certified AI consultant and marketing strategist. I help small to medium sized business owners fill the gaps in their marketing strategies, and we pull AI into the conversation just to get things done faster and to do a little more razzle dazzle. Today is Veterans Day. At the time that I am doing this broadcast, it is Veterans Day. And I know that many of the veterans have already posted pictures from their times in service, and they have been talking about the lessons and the things and all of the shenanigans that we service members get into. Normally, I do that. But I decided this year I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I want to have a quick conversation, briefly conversation. I won't be before you long about how the Army, I served in the Army, Corps, continues to shape me as a business owner. I want to talk about strategy. If you follow me, if you are already in my universe, you know that I talk a lot about strategy. I want to talk about how the military, for me, didn't just shape who I was then. It continues to shape who I am now and how I show up in my business. And sure, you have probably heard the typical things when people, former service members, talk about what they learned from their time in service. They usually talk about, discipline and time management. All of that is great, wonderful, fantastic. I want to take a little bit of a different tone with this conversation. I want to talk about some of those unexpected things that for me, they show up in how I work with my clients. They show up in how I think about marketing and how I lead with clarity instead of from chaos. So, three things. The first takeaway for me is mission first, strategy first, not tactics, right? In the military, in the army, you do not pick up a weapon before you know the mission, right? You don't. You need to know clearly what the objective is, what is the goal, what is the why, and then from there, that informs what weapons you will employ in order to achieve that goal, in order to get to that mission. And so, for me as a marketing strategist, I see a lot of business owners who focus on the tactics without having a strategy to ground them, which leads to a lot of the frustration and the overwhelm and the exasperation that comes when we're having these conversations about how to leverage digital channels for marketing. And frankly, that's backwards. Mission, strategy come first. You need to know the details about what you're aiming for, why you're aiming at that, what's the goal, what does winning look like for you. Then you pick your tools. That's why for me, for my business, 3 years ago, I shifted out of social media management into consulting, marketing strategy consulting, leaning heavily on messaging. That's why I talk about being clear on what makes your brand unique. I talk about the clarity in your brand, knowing your character, knowing your customers, developing or building that content system, because from there, you can then employ the appropriate right size tools so you can win. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing the Army taught me that continues to shape how I operate in business now. Mission first, then tactics. Period, point blank. Number two, pivot with a plan. Don't panic. Change will happen. The military taught me that. If the military hadn't taught me that, life certainly taught me that even before I joined the Army at 19 years old. You are prepared for things on the battlefield to change. And when those changes happen, you do not panic. Your training kicks in. You don't lean into the chaos. You instead implement or activate the planned flexibility. This mindset for me helps me lead and guide clients through changing platforms and the ebbs and flows and the changing patterns that exist in the digital marketing space, new algorithms, AI, all of these things they can navigate without losing their message or losing their minds. Because that chaos that comes from external circumstances does have the potential to throw you completely off. Planning for the flexibility, expecting that there will be things outside of your control that will change, and choosing to lean into the training because you've prepared and planning for the pivot, a game changer. It's a game changer. I am not interested in chasing trends when it comes to my work with my clients. My goal, my role is to help them assess and adjust when needed and plan the adjustments. That's what strategy is. Strategy includes what happens when things change, what happens when conditions shift. It's not unexpected. We've prepared for it, and so now we know what to do. And then the last one, I'm only going to give you three. The last one for this conversation is to train your replacement. My husband would always say, train yourself out of a job. He's a veteran too. Train yourself out of a job. In the military, hoarding information is dangerous. It's true. It can have very dire consequences. And so in any role that you are in, you are learning when you first get there, and then you are training someone to take your place. I think about even the first job that I had after I got out of the army. I was hired to manage this new system that the customer was bringing online, and nobody in the company, it was new to everybody. It was new to the customer, it was new to all of the vendors. And so as I was learning it, I was building my own SOP. I had the standard operations manual for the software, but I built, developed, wrote my SOP so that, for one, the information was not going to begin and end with me. Mission success, I was not going to be the single point of failure in whether or not we achieved the mission. So, documenting what I was doing, preparing for the day when I would not be the one to actually be doing the work, that's the key to mission success. And that came from my time in the military. I am a big proponent in challenging my clients to think beyond the current circumstances in their business. Sure, you might be the one writing your social media content right now. You might be the one writing your emails and drafting your newsletter. But let's plan for the day when you won't be. Let's plan for the day when you will be able to hand off a document, an SOP, to another person to do that work so you, as the leader, can focus on doing the high dollar, high value, mission level, vision level tasks that only you can do. Training your replacement is important. It's not just about being able to answer a question in the moment, it's about building systems that will last beyond you. Because again, if you're watching this as a business owner and you want to scale your business, and if you haven't thought about what your business will look like when you are not the person, or even the person who is the person is not the person actually doing the work that's being done in your business right now, then are you really planning for growth? Training your replacement is essential. It challenges us as leaders to make our businesses sustainable and scalable. We want things to less be tied to one person and more tied to the mission, because that's what leadership looks like. So I'm going to end with this. Being a veteran is is one part of my story, but I know that it has shaped practically everything about how I move in my business. I am still about the mission. I still believe in training the team, and I still do not make a move without strategy. Period. So if you are watching this and your content feels confusing, the tools are overwhelming, you feel like you are chasing the next shiny object and things you're putting out a lot of output and they're not converting, I can help you fix that. I offer strategy sessions. There's several things available that I offer, all designed to help you get clear, all informed by these three takeaways that I didn't expect to leave the army with, but I'm glad I got them and I'm not letting them go. So I am going to get out of here. Every single veteran who is watching this video, thank you for your service. Thank you for how you continue to show up and serve in this world. Happy Veterans Day to you.